So we'll get these two front pieces off, and then we'll probably go at the back ones with a hand wasp. Hammer down these pin nails. So we're within about 1 millimeter. Today I want to get the landing floor covered with the hardwood, and that's going to be really fussy and around here. I can't put baseboard in along here, so this doesn't have to be perfect. This doesn't have to be perfect, but this and that does have to be perfect. I want to get all of this covered first, and then I want to work on MDF for here and here and here and here. By the end of the stream, I would like to have up to here done. Probably not this one, because I need to tie this one into how I do the rest of the flooring on the main level. But if I can get the rest of the stairs done and the landing, that's a pretty good day. The hard part with this is going to be getting weight on these small sections. So we can start with, you know what, let's start with getting all the tools out of the garage so that I can actually do work. So not quite able to get down yet.
We should be getting used to this amount of fuss in this flooring series, but don't worry, I skip past a lot in the end.
It needs to be a little bit shorter. This is because this is so out of plumb. Especially when stuff is so wonky. If stuff was square, it could be pretty close to just like measure, mark, cut. We're close. Now, if I can get them all to fit where I can't move them, I will accept that. I will absolutely accept that. We should have about 1 inch here. And on this side, we want to add 1 5/8. Will get us close. And then we'll go straight that way, and we'll probably have to chew down that 2 5/8 a little bit. And this side, we've got a little bit more. I'm gonna first cut it as close to this as I can, try to get it to fit in right, and then we're gonna have to kind of work backwards from that edge. 45 3/4. And then we'll do the same here. 3/16 inch difference. So my choice is gonna be either make that on an angle or square this to that. Now this is making a very clearly, and I know it for certain, wrong assumption, and that is that this is square and this is square and they're parallel and all of that sort of thing. But I'm also going to cut inside this line. I'm going to be cutting less than I need, basically, so that I can keep inching up on it as I go.
I want to believe that there exists someone in the world who can just measure, mark, and get it done. But until I meet them and they reveal their secrets, this is how I do.
Oh, that's a bummer. Thought of that 1 second too late. Because I was doing it upside down, I forgot about how curved the blade is. So we'll have to take my longer piece and remake this, and we'll have to make another one of these. So then the idea is we can start to see how close we are to things, and we can start inching our way in. Yeah, I won't get too disappointed about it. It is a bit of a bummer that I derped up like that, but there's just no way to hide that cut. Someone who didn't care as much would just fill that with wood filler, but it would be really obvious what you did. So we're nice and snug left to right here. So we want to come back 3/4 plus there, and we can come back an extra 1/8 on that one. So if we did something like this, then I can always cut on the top side. So we need to straighten this cut. What am I hitting here? On the bottom of that?
I'm leaving this section in so you can see a little bit more on how I go about finding where problems are, especially when they're not obvious.
Oh, we don't have enough that way yet. Are you gonna sit down now? Oh, it might sit down now. I think we're still too tight in the back here. I mean, if I was able to cut this out, I could try to find a little tiny, make a little tiny piece that would fit right in there. So I need to take a little bit more off the end here. Beveled that back a little bit too, should help. Gotta take a little bit more off of there. I think I need just a little bit more off that inside bit there, and a little bit more off the end as well. But this is sort of how it goes when you work with stairs, so I'm not upset about that. What am I catching on? I think I'm catching on this inside corner here. I think this blade has gotten a little dull. Let's try flipping it over. For my first house, I hired a Finnish carpenter to do the stairs for me. So we're a little wide there. The other question is, how far off are we from even here? Oh, we are almost perfect there. That's interesting. So this part can get baseboarded, this part will get covered. I could still stand to take a touch off there because that'll get covered. And then we get to try to figure out how we fill that in. There we go, that's that fixed. So I want just a blade width here. That's the part I want. You know what, let's just get some sandpaper, file that away a little bit. And we're just gonna take off tiny bits at a time. Okay, so I think that'll be workable, but the color's wrong. Yep. Now that's pretty good for a color match.
I am actually colorblind, so if I'm taking time to go and fuss a color, you know it's going to be really bad to start with.
This, I think, might work if I can sand off just the right amount. Try to get rid of that V. Well, I need to make sure it'll sit flat. And I would like to clean up the end of this a little bit more to get it all the way in towards the end. You know, if I get a little bit of filler in that, it might be okay. We'll try to do a little bit of a wood filler glue mix up pasty kind of thing. So then we've got kind of a glue, kind of a filler here. That might not want to go in any further. You know, it's not ideal, and if you're looking for it, you'll see it. It's all right. It's not great. We've got 42 and 7. 42 and like 7 minus a 32nd, so we're pretty square also. Okay, that's good. Whoa!
If you haven't checked out the live stream over on twitch.tv/moosdoesstuff, one of the things that I do is for $5 let people write their name or a short message on any part of the house that I'm working on. They become a part of the house forever, and I get to feel like I'm giving a little something back for any support they want to give.
And now I get back to work. You know what, I'll just kind of overlay these for now. They don't need to be actually locked in. That seems pretty okay. So we'll check this for general length, and that's workable. The rest we will fuss out once this other stuff is glued down.
I'm putting as big a bevel on this piece as I can because I need to slide it in on edge and then tilt it down. Thanks, misdirected.
Smiley face. Now we get to try to clean up this gap a bit. Squeeze that a bit. So that's the landing done and glued up. And see what I can do about getting some weight on here. And there.
You guys have seen me do tracing before. This is just showing that, yep, we're doing tracing again.
So we're gonna kind of just like rough this outline because I know this top edge needs to get marked and cut. I'm pretty sure that just keeps going straight down. Now I think this was the right side one. Yeah, that's pretty close. And then I'll have to, you know, hold this on, mark this side of it and trim that down, but that's looking okay. And as long as that's there, I can mark this point and we can connect those dots. You can kind of see now how out of plumb these are. So that's one of the things I want to correct with this. Just cut straight down to there and then make another one of those up over here till that's flat. And then I can connect the bottom of those two cuts. I'm okay if this is just like a hair below this, and then I can do that same sort of, you know, we can trim it down a little bit there, but then I can cut that till it's flat, cut that till it's flat, connect those two dots, and then my left side template will be done.
This freehand table saw work is actually at 20 times speed playback.
Do you think I did a good job, or do you think I have to fuss up some of it? So I knew I was gonna have gaps up in here because I didn't cut these square. That is pretty okay. Let's do the other one. I don't know, that's lining up pretty good down at the bottom there. I might be a bit of a carpenter right now.
I'm using construction adhesive here instead of wood glue because I didn't think that the wood glue would bond to the paint very well, and I definitely wasn't going to take the time to scrape all the paint off.
So I can nail into this, get some pin nails and some glue for that. We'll look for some shims to get in behind here. And I'll have this edge and this corner here, and that'll be about as good as that gets, I think. You're thinking like build this all out and then it's just one big flat thing? Yeah, I was given an idea near the end of stream to bring it out from the wall a little bit. Only downside of working outside, a bit of wind. The hope is I can get this to more or less line up here. So let's get the laser set up again. So you know, it cost me an extra 20 bucks and it's a little bit of redo the work, but it is a better idea overall.
One of the ways that I try to set myself apart as a streamer, but especially as a YouTuber, is that I don't claim to know everything and I don't claim to have all the best ideas all the time. If someone comes to my live stream and they say, hey, what about this idea? I'm always trying to listen with a full and honest heart and hearing ideas that aren't mine. In this case, someone else's idea was a better idea than what I had done the day before.
So there's that. I'd love to get a couple of pieces of blocking in the side, in the top here, and the bottom here. Try to line this up right along this edge, close as I can. Looks like I could almost just do a straight 2-inch rip here. There we go. That'll be okay. So the idea here is I can get these locked to the side, and then I can make sure this is stretched in the middle as tight as I can get it. And then when I take this guy, make sure the bottom corners are at the bottom corners. You can see I'm at a slight bit of an angle here, and here I'm at a different angle. I'm not even measuring. I'm just gonna try to get this cut exactly. So this is gonna be the rest of my day. Oh, we have a nail there. So there's that. So that is relatively plumb. That's pretty good for plumb. All right, let's get the hand wasp.
The stair risers I wasn't very concerned about being particularly solid or particularly well attached, glued and screwed and all that sort of thing. But for the treads I wanted them to be very stable, very solid. And so I used the same glue as I used on the rest of the floor to get the treads on.
Not really sure how I'm gonna get this to work. Oh, something like that, I guess.
This is already a longer video than I wanted it to be, so I'll just trust that you understand that the next step went exactly the same way as the first one did.